now that black people have a little bit more power, a little bit more rights, how about we start Black Wall Street back up? Let's start Black Wall Street back.
Power. 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 It's a word we hear all the time. Political power, voting power, economic power. But where does real power begin? Does it begin in Washington? Or does it begin in our neighborhoods, our businesses, our churches, our homes, and yes, our banks? Today, let's talk about a blueprint that our ancestors left behind. One that reminds us that communities can be built and can build extraordinary things when they invest in themselves. When many people hear Black Wall Street, as we've just heard, they think of only Greenwood in Tulsa. But across America, there were thriving Black business districts in places like Durham, my state, Richmond, Jacksonville, Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Nashville, and others. These communities weren't just made up of a few successful businesses. No. They had grocery stores, hotels, pharmacies, doctor offices, lawyers, insurance companies, churches, schools, newspapers, and entrepreneurs. They were complete economic ecosystems. Now, none of these and none of those communities could have grown without access to capital. Businesses don't grow on dreams alone. They need financing. And we see that in our communities that a lot of people start businesses and they are very good ideas. They have great business plans. But if you don't have the financing to back up that dream and those ambitions, a lot of times those businesses fail. But in the case of Black Wall Street, as we know it, and the Black Wall Streets, that's where Black-owned banks came in. Now, you may ask, well, what did these banks actually do? These banks didn't simply hold people's money. They made home loans so families could buy property. They financed grocery stores, barbershops, beauty salons, restaurants, doctor offices, funeral homes, trucking companies, and commercial buildings. They helped churches build sanctuaries and community centers. They gave entrepreneurs opportunities when many other financial institutions would not. Banks don't just hold money. They help determine where opportunity grows. One of the greatest lessons from our history is that the primary engine wasn't a governmental program. It was community investment, entrepreneurship, property ownership, and financial institutions created by Black Americans themselves. Communities became stronger, and even today, communities has the potential to become stronger when money circulates within our communities. Now, we all know that we are doing a wealth transfer as we speak now, making sacrifices. There are people who are not supporting certain businesses and have gone without getting their nails done, making sure that they're looking up Black-owned, and let me specify, Black American-owned businesses to support. And we are encouraging business owners, especially those that we use the most, such as nail salons and beauty supply stores. We're encouraging our community, members of our community, to let us know that they're there so that we can patronize those within our communities.
It is said that in the Asian community, the dollar circulates for 1 month before it leaves that community, 30 days. In the Jewish community, that dollar circulates for 20 days before it leaves the Jewish community, which is a relatively small community in numbers. In the white community, the dollar circulates for 17 days before it leaves that community. But in the Black community, our dollar only circulates for 6 hours before it leaves our community. Brothers and sisters, that is something that has to change.
Today we spend a great deal of time discussing politics and representation. Those conversations matter, but history reminds us that political representation and economic power are not the same thing. One of the last things that Dr. King said and had petitioned for, was he said, we're going to Washington and we're going to get our checks because we've taught farmers, Caucasian farmers, how to farm. We've taught them about turning over and how to turn over the soil. And as a result of that, they're not patronizing us anymore or looking to us anymore. And we need to go get our check. That's one of the last things that Dr. King said. Malcolm X spoke a lot about politics and how, certain parties will smile in our face while undermining us all the same. How Malcolm X also talked about how celebrities are used to speak up for the conditions of our communities when they're in a whole different place, when they're in a whole different tax bracket than everyday Black Americans. Malcolm X spoke of these things. So history reminds us that political representation and economic power are not the same thing. Elections, they come and go. Administrations change. District lines change. Political leadership change. But businesses, land, banks, and ownership can create opportunities that last for generations. Now, I've been on several panels, and the ones that I go on the most is King Supreme. Shout out to him, great brother from California, and also the Water God. And I believe he's based out of Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And during some of the conversations that I have mentioned on their panel, one was the idea that maybe we as a community, if we were, knowing the amount of us that there are in the United States, what if every one of us would donate $5 each quarter, putting it into one of these Black-owned banks? And these are, just to make mention, these are banks that have a long history back to the early 1900s, and I think some even the late 1800s, but early 1900s. So we don't have to worry about these banks that are being shown on the screen now. These are banks from our people. We have a lot of banks today. We don't know who really owns them, if it's really Black America or if they are Black immigrants. So that is very important. And let me just touch on that for one quick second. It's not that we are being divisive towards other Black immigrants. I'm not saying that at all. But they have a land that they can always return back to. Most of them, and I've dated, people in the Black diaspora, most of them have to send money back home in order to support the families that are on their land. A lot of them send money back home to build infrastructure in their homeland. And that is a beautiful thing, and I'm not taking away from that, but that's not helping us, Black Americans, on this soil. And so that's why it's very important that we try to look for Black American freedmen, formerly known as African American, FBA, ADOS, Negro, whatever you want to call it. That's why it's important that we decipher who we are talking to. Big ups to Black immigrants who are making a better life for themselves and who are supporting their families. But as a Black American, we have to focus on the needs of our communities, because once everybody else gets what they want out of the United States, they can easily return back home and have an abundance, because our dollar is more valuable than other currency. So they can send money home and it can do triple the amount of what we can do here in America using the American dollar. And I just wanted to point that out. But imagine millions of people making a small financial commitment towards building institutions in our own communities. Now, I'm not telling anyone to or what to give or what organization to support. My point is much simpler. When thousands or millions of people work together towards a common economic goal, the impact can be enormous. And this is not something I'm just saying because I have lips. History has already shown that. It has already proven that. So, the question is, who's going to save us? What candidate? What is this party going to do? What is that party going to do? Maybe the better question is, what are we willing to build together? It's already proven to be successful across the nation with the Black Wall Streets that we know. And the question also can be, are we supporting entrepreneurs? Prime example, my daughter, 17 years old, she has had businesses since 5 years old. And I remember her being in the slime era. And she made different textures of slime. She was only 7 years old. And I came home one day and it was so many cars parked on both sides of my street. You would think that it was a drug deal going on or something like that. But no, there were parents that were actually coming to buy slime for their children. So even teaching children at a young age how to become entrepreneurs. And even now, what she's doing is she sells K-Cups. And she's doing very well in that. So we have to support those in the community that have businesses. And I remember even my great-grandmother, She used to have, and my aunties, they used to have candy houses and candy stores. And everything that you could get from a convenience store, you were able to come to their location and get it. From freeze cups, even though those came by and got a little look every now and again. And actually, I believe it was my great grandmother who started the single cigarettes. When no one doing single cigarettes in my area at that time, she started that way back in the 70s and 80s when she was doing that out of her house. So supporting those community things, and that may be something that you could do on the side. But we also need to invest in financial literacy. I didn't learn about financial literacy in school. It was actually when I became an insurance broker that I found so much out about the world of finance and how money actually works. Another question, are we buying property? Are we buying land? And again, teaching our children ownership. Or are we looking at institutions that reinvest in our communities? These are the questions every community can ask itself. So, Black Wall Street, it wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It wasn't charity. It wasn't any of those things. What it was a vision. It was sacrifice. It was ownership. It was discipline. It was faith. And it was cooperation. If our ancestors built thriving communities with far few less resources than many of us have today, perhaps the blueprint isn't lost. Perhaps it's waiting for us to study it, learn from it, and decide what parts of it we want to carry forward. Because real power doesn't begin with what someone else builds for us. It begins with what we choose to build together. And I believe that it's possible. I believe that it's possible for us to do that. It's so many of us that want it, and we just have to go out and get it. Trust each other to go out and get it. So I have put on the screen throughout this video the names of some original Black American banks, and most of them are still in operation today. And you may want to consider looking into them. Some of them even have online opportunities if you don't see a bank in your immediate area. And then we may be able to come back and revisit this and talk about what we can actually do to get our businesses and our banks back involved. And remember, banks don't just hold money. They help determine where opportunity grows. If you like what this video has brought forth today, I ask that you send forth a like, that you comment, and what ideas you may have. I ask you to respond each week because these are very important videos and very important questions, and I would like to know your take on it. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. May the Most High bless.